and welcome to the channel. My name is Anna Maria and this is the 7th episode I am doing in the series about the witch trials. And in today's episode I will talk about Switzerland. I will link the other episodes down below. I'm going to remind everyone that the witch trials were brutal, and some themes I will take up can be distressing, especially when it comes to the punishments and the sentences. So a warning for the episode. The intensity of the witch trials in Switzerland was very high. It's one of the countries that had the most people executed for witchcraft. There was around 10,000 people that were executed according to some sources, but that is a very uncertain number. The reason there was such a high amount of witch trials was that the political system was very divided. The central powers were very weak, and the imperial powers didn't have much to say in anything. And this affected the rights of the accused negatively. Where the central powers were the weakest, the most witch trials occurred, and these trials went through secular courts. It was witchcraft that could hurt anyone or their things, or that you attended a Sabbath, that was in focus the most. And many of the people that got accused was seen as different in some way, or had been in a conflict with the person that accused them. Torture was used frequently, and the most common execution method was burning at the stake, but you could also be beheaded. And during the medieval times it was more men than women that got executed for witchcraft, but that changed in the 1500s and more women were executed from then on. The witch hunt started in 1428 when it was decided that an investigation was going to be made into witches and warlocks. And the people that were taken in was accused of using witchcraft on at least 3 people. If they would confess to all of this, they would be burned at the stake for heresy, because witchcraft and heresy was seen as the same thing at the time. If they didn't confess or didn't admit to anything, they would be tortured. Some of the things that people got accused for was cannibalism, putting a curse on someone, learning magic from the devil, and transferring illnesses to other people with help of witchcraft. If the people that had been executed had anything of value, it would be given to their relatives, but only if they could prove that they didn't know anything about witchcraft. Otherwise, it would be given to the nobility. In 1430, so 2 years after the trials had begun, a man called Johannes Frynd was writing down that around 100 to 200 people had been executed. And Johannes is quite a reliable source because he was an eyewitness to a lot of it. But the trials didn't end until 1447, and no one knows exactly how many died during that period. The only thing we know is that both men and women were executed. Anna Göldi was born in 1734 in Senvald and died in 1782 in Glarus. She is seen as one of the last people that were executed in Europe for witchcraft, and has also been given the title of the last witch in Switzerland. Anna's story as an accused began when she became pregnant at 31 with a mercenary. The baby died and Anna was accused for murdering her own child. She was sentenced to house arrest but managed to escape. She started to work for another family and had a child with the employer's son. She then started to work for yet another family called Tschudi in 1780. Her employer here started to accuse her for using supernatural powers and sorcery, and Anna was taken in after authorities offered a reward for her arrest. She was confessing under torture to having a pact with the devil, but when the torture ended, she withdrew her confession. This was ignored and she was sentenced to death by beheading. They charged her officially for poisoning. And during the trial they tried to avoid mentioning witchcraft at all, but they couldn't escape the fact that she had been arrested during a witch hunt. The decision to execute her sparked an outrage because of the vague evidence and that they changed from witchcraft to poisoning during the trial, but she was still executed. It wasn't until 226 years after her death that the Swiss parliament decided to give Anna an exoneration. It was believed that her employer at the time didn't want her to expose their affair and therefore accused her of witchcraft and sorcery. So today Anna is officially cleared from any accusations. And that was all for this episode about the witch trials in Switzerland. In the next episode I will talk about the autonomous communities of Navarra and the Basque country of Spain. If you like this episode, please like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget the notifications, and I will see you in the next one.